You can change the job, change the partner, change the house, change the schedule, change the plan, and still feel trapped in the same life if you keep meeting everything from the same fear. This is not always easy to hear because we are so used to looking outside first. We think, when this changes, I will feel better. When my partner behaves differently, when my children listen, when my work is less stressful, when I have more money, when I have more time, when people finally understand me, when life calms down, when the pressures goes away. And of course, some things on the outside do need to change. There are situations that are not healthy. There are relationships that are not right. There are jobs that drain. There are responsibilities that need to be reorganized. There are financial realities that require action. I'm not saying we sit still and pretend everything is fine, but there is something deeper that most people miss. Your life changes when the state of mind you meet those circumstances from changes. Not when the circumstance changes. Not when the person changes. Not when the money changes. Not when the schedule changes. But the inner place you are standing in changes. Because when you meet life from fear, everything looks like a threat. A message becomes criticism, silence becomes rejection. A child not listening becomes proof that nobody respects you. In work problem becomes proof that everything is on you. A financial cost becomes the beginning of a disaster story. A difficult conversation becomes danger. A partner's reaction becomes proof that you are not safe, not chosen, not valued. And then we say, why does this keep happening to me? But the deeper question is not only why does this keep happening. The deeper question is, what state of mind am I meeting this from? Because the same situation can become a completely different experience depending on the state of mind you bring to it. When you're anxious, tired, insecure, overwhelmed, or trying to control everything, life looks heavier. People look more difficult. Problems look bigger. Choices look more dangerous. The future looks less stable. Your body gets tense. Your voice gets sharper. Your patience disappears. You react faster. You listen less. And you defend more. And then the situation really does become more difficult because now you are not only dealing with the situation, you are dealing with the situation plus the fear, plus the story, plus the urgency, plus the need to control the outcome. And that is how the mirror works. Life reflects the state of mind you are looking from. Not because every circumstance is your fault, not because you caused everything, not because you should blame yourself when life is hard. That is not what I mean. The mirror is not here to shame you. The mirror is here to show you. It shows you the lens you are looking through. It shows you the story that is running. It shows you where you are meeting life from fear, ego, insecurity, exhaustion, pressure, or control. And once you see that, you have a choice. You can keep trying to clean the mirror, or you can look at what is being reflected. And this is where I love the metaphor of the ocean. Imagine the mind as a vast ocean, huge, open, deep, full of possibility. Your consciousness is like the boat that allows you to experience life. You are in the boat, moving through this ocean. And thought is the direction you keep steering toward. You can steer toward fear. You can steer toward lack. You can steer toward rejection. You can steer toward old stories. You can steer toward control. You can steer toward everything that could go wrong. And if you keep steering in that direction, your life will feel like danger, even when the waters around you are not actually stormy. You can also steer toward clarity, toward trust, toward presence, toward gratitude, toward one next step, toward inner wisdom, toward your home base. The ocean is vast, the boat can move, but the direction matters. So the question becomes, who is steering? Is it you? From your deeper wisdom, or is it fear? Is it your old story? Is it ego? Is it insecurity? Is it a thought you have believed for so long that you forgot it was only a thought? Because a thought can take the wheel so quickly. You wake up, and before your feet even touch the floor, the mind says, there is too much to do. And now the whole day has a taste, heavy, pressure, urgent. You receive a message, and the mind says, she is judging me. And now the body reacts before you even ask if that is true. Your child ignores the chore again, and the mind says, nobody respects me in this house. And now you are no longer responding to a chore. You are responding to a story of being unseen. Your partner says something in the wrong tone, and the mind says, here we go again. And now you are not in this moment anymore. You are in every old memory that ever felt the same. This is why changing the outside never feels like enough when the inner state stays the same. You can get a better job and still carry the same pressure. You can earn more money and still feel unsafe. You can leave one relationship and enter another one with the same fear. You can create more free time and still feel rushed. You can be surrounded by people and still feel alone. You can have the life that looks fine from the outside and still feel like something inside is fighting. Because the outside cannot give you a state of mind you are not willing to return to from within. And this was a huge realization in my own life. I have had periods where I felt stressed about finances, I have had periods where I felt overloaded, where everything felt like too much, where there were children, responsibilities, driving, work, household decisions, and that feeling that everything depended on me. And when I met those circumstances from fear, everything became heavier. It was not a task, it was the state of mind around the task. It was not the money, it was the story about money. It was not the responsibility, it was the fear that I would not be able to carry. It was not the children needing something. It was the feeling that if I did not manage everything perfectly, I was failing. And from that state, I could not see options clearly. I could not see what could wait. I could not see what did not matter. I could not see where I could ask for help. I could not see where I was creating urgency that was not really there. I could not see a better way because my mind was too loud. Then my state of mind changed. Not a whole life in 1 second, not a magical fix, but I started coming back to myself. I started seeing that my fear was not giving me clarity. My control was not giving me peace. My overthinking was not solving my life. It was making the same life feel impossible. And when I changed the state I was meeting things from, the outside began to look different too. I could see options. I could organize differently. I could decide that some things no longer needed to be done. I could see what mattered and what was only noise. I could meet people who lifted me. I could notice opportunities that were invisible when I was busy surviving inside my own thinking. And this shift happens because you stop trying to force outcomes from the outside in, and instead you rest in the natural intelligence that runs your entire design. And that is the part people often miss. It is not that you change your state of mind and then sit there doing nothing. It is that when the state changes, the next step becomes clearer. You stop forcing, you stop reacting from panic, you stop making every small problem into proof that your life is falling apart. And then you do something different, not because someone told you what to do, but because you can finally hear your own inner wisdom again. And I see this with my children too. There are days when I have to say something 10 times. Take the trash out, do the chore, finish the schoolwork, clean up after yourself. We all know those moments. And if I come from tension, if I come from the feeling that nobody listens, nobody respects me, and everything is on me, then I get louder. I snap. I threaten. I repeat with anger in my voice. And yes, they do the thing then. But what are they really responding to? They're responding to the yelling. They want the noise to stop. That does not teach them much, right? But when I come from my home base, it's different. I can say the same thing even for the fifth time, but I'm not disturbed in the same way. I'm not making it mean that I'm not respected. I'm not making it mean that I'm failing as a mother. I'm not making it mean that the whole house is against me. I can be clear and calm at the same time. And that has more influence because then I'm not pulling them into my storm. I'm standing in something steadier. And from there, they can actually hear me better. And this is one of the greatest shifts in communication. When you are in fear, you speak to control. When you are grounded, you speak to connect. When you are insecure, you hear attack. When you are at home in yourself, you can hear what was actually saying. When you are reactive, you try to win. And when you are clear, you try to understand what is needed. And the same conversation becomes a different conversation. I remember a moment in a past relationship where this was so clear to me. The person I was with became very upset because things were not going the way he wanted. He started yelling, and not only yelling, but also using words that were not respectful. In the past, that have pulled me straight in the same energy. I might have attacked back, defended, proved, explained, matched the storm. But in that moment, I was grounded. I was so much in my home base that his words did not really enter me. They brushed against me and fell off. I could see clearly this is not about me. This is his state of mind. This is his storm. And I actually started laughing, not laughing at him in a cruel way, laughing because the situation was so clear from where I was standing inside. I was calm, and the words that were supposed to hurt me had nowhere to land. And that made him even more upset at first because he had lost his grounding, and I did not join him there. But I did not spiral with him. I did not give my peace away to meet him in his storm. I took a break, and later, when he calmed down, we could talk differently. We could meet each other from a better place. And that moment was a great lesson. You do not have to enter someone else's state of mind just because they invite you there. You do not have to pick up every emotion someone throws into the room. You do not have to lose yourself because someone else has lost themselves. And this is not about becoming cold. It's not about pretending you do not care. It's not about being above people. It's about knowing where you are standing inside yourself. Because when you are grounded, you can see another person's behavior without immediately making it your identity. Someone can be upset and you do not have to become unsafe. Someone can misunderstand you and you do not have to become desperate. Someone can criticize you and you do not have to collapse. Someone can be in fear and you do not have to follow them there. That is freedom. And it is also responsibility. Because we bring our state of mind into every room. You can walk into your office in a miserable state, full of resentment, pressure, negativity, and everyone around you feel it. You may not say anything dramatic, but your energy speaks. Your face speaks. Your tone speaks. The way you answer speaks. The way you listen speaks. You can also walk into the same office with a smile, with steadiness, with a willingness to cooperate, with an intention to do your best. And the same room becomes a different room. Not because every person suddenly changed, because you are not feeding the same atmosphere. And this is true at work, it's true in relationships, it's true with children, it's true with friendships, it's true in business, it's true in how you meet money, health, uncertainty, conflict, and success. There are always actually things to be grateful for. There are always things that are difficult. What you focus on changes what you see, and what you see changes how you move. And this is not some fake positivity. Fake positivity says everything is fine when it's not. And this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about seeing clearly. And you cannot see clearly when fear is driving the boat. You cannot see clearly when ego is driving the boat. You cannot see clearly when control is driving the boat. You cannot see clearly when the old story is driving the boat. Clarity comes when you return to your home base. That place inside you where the mind becomes quieter, where you stop fighting with everything for a moment, where you stop trying to fix every mirror, where you can listen. And this is what I call inner wisdom. It's not loud. It does not panic. It does not need to prove. It does not scream for control. It does not rush into 10 different scenarios. It is quiet, but it knows. It knows when to speak. It knows when to pause. It knows when to walk away. It knows when to stay. It knows when to apologize. It knows when to stop chasing. It knows when something is not yours to carry. It knows the next step before the ego starts building a whole performance around it. The problem is not that we do not have inner wisdom. The problem is that we often do not listen. We listen to fear first. We listen to the old story. We listen to what someone may think. We listen to the need to be right. We listen to the need to control. We listen to the thought that says, if I do not fix this now, something bad will happen. And then we wonder why life feels so heavy. So the practice is not to control life harder. The practice is to notice who is steering. When you feel the same stressful situation appearing again, do not rush to fix the outside first. Ask yourself, what state am I in right now? Am I meeting this from fear or from clarity? Am I reacting to what is actually happening or to a story my mind is adding? Am I trying to control the mirror or am I willing to look at what it reflects? Who is steering the boat? Is it my wisdom or is it my fear? And then wait long enough to hear the answer. This is important. Because if you respond from the storm, you usually create more storm. If you respond from home base, you bring something different into the situation. This does not mean the other person will immediately become calm. It does not mean the child will immediately listen. It does not mean the bill will disappear. It does not mean the problem solves itself without action. But it means you're no longer adding unnecessary suffering to what is already here. And from that clearer state, you can actually respond better. You can set a boundary without attacking. You can say no without guilt. You can talk without defending every sentence. You can look at money without spiraling. You can ask for help without making it mean you failed. You can see the next step instead of drowning in the whole future. You can meet the same life differently. And when you meet life differently, life begins to respond differently too. This is the man in the mirror message, really. If you want something to change, start with yourself. Not because everything outside is your fault, because you are the place where your experience begins. You are the one looking, you are the one interpreting, you are the one responding, you are the one steering the boat. And when the inner state shifts, the outer world stops looking exactly the same. The mirror changes because the one standing in front of it changes. So today, look at the places where you keep saying, why does this keep happening to me? Look at the repeated stress, the same communication breakdowns, the same feeling of pressure, the same sense of not being understood, the same irritation with your children, the same fear around money, the same tension in relationships. And then ask a deeper question. What state of mind am I bringing into this? What am I believing before I even enter the conversation? What am I expecting to go wrong? What am I trying to control? Where am I hearing attack when there is only information? Where am I seeing rejection when there is only silence? Where am I creating urgency because I do not feel safe inside? Where am I waiting for the outside to give me the peace I need to find within? These questions are not here to blame you. They are here to bring you back to your power. Because the fastest way to lose power is to believe everything depends on the outside changing first. The beginning of real power is realizing I can change the state I meet this from. I can return to my home base. I can wait before reacting. I can listen for wisdom instead of fear. I can steer the boat differently. And when I steer differently, I see differently. When I see differently, I respond differently. When I respond differently, life begins to move differently. That is the universal mirror, not punishment, not a judgment, a reflection, a reminder, a doorway back to yourself. And if this episode opens something in you and you can feel that old, not good enough story running in the background, I have a free workbook link below this episode. It is called The Real Reason You Feel Not Enough. And it can help you start seeing the thought patterns that keep pulling you away from yourself. And if fear of judgment is part of the mirror you keep meeting, you will also find my simple course on judgment there. Take what feels right for you and start with one question. What state am I meeting life from today? Because your life does not change only when everything outside finally behaves. Your life changes when the state of mind you meet those circumstances from changes. So stop fighting every mirror. Look at what it reflects. Come back to the one who is steering and choose the direction from there. Welcome home.